If only you knew how long I hunted for this car. For years. Since 2014, when it surfaced in the hands of an owner, and then the back and forth began. It always slipped away from me, then it appeared again at Smirnov's design bureau. Most importantly, I was hunting for a worn-out Leviathan, but I found a car restored to factory condition. No, even better. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev. I wish him many years of life, or better yet like Uday, to grant him immortality. May he live long. After all, it was thanks to the far-sighted president of the USSR that we lost so much. For example, government cars altogether. I agree, a servant of the people should ride the metro with the people. But along with the privileges, the country also lost its design base, its specialists, and its production. Those were the 90s. Then the former communists came to their senses. After all, you need to travel in comfort, right? Very much so. But there's nothing. Or is there? The Volga isn't dead yet, and it's still barely hanging on at Zerkaltse. But just churning out Volgas at the factory isn't really the way to go. There's a special institute, NAMI. Let them do their best. At NAMI, they decided to take a commercial approach. It's a shame to chop up the 31st Volga. There are so few of them as it is. So let's stretch out the CBK instead. It's ugly, and there are plenty of them. If anyone asks, we'll just say it was always like that. Of course, I'm being ironic. NAMI is a unique institute. All cars in the USSR were connected to NAMI in one way or another. Yes, and the GAZ-31029 essentially became the savior of the factory at that time. At least until the Gazelle came along, and the 29 looked more modern. A plastic radiator grille, impact-safe bumpers, halogen headlights, and some chrome. Roof trim, distinctive stripes on the bumpers, and those absolutely wonderful door handle overlays with the GAZ inscription so you wouldn't forget. They were clearly bought at the market in Yuzhny Port. Even the body lines of the 29 were less aggressively socialist. The car radiated warmth and accessibility compared to foreign cars. Definitely. So, my curious viewer might ask, how did they manage to lengthen the body? By cutting and welding. They say they cut up a sedan, but I think they actually cut up two cars. The station wagon, they took the front part and the entire roof from it, as well as the rear door, which makes sense. And as for the rear, you can see for yourself. As a result, the car was stretched out considerably. The limousine's length became 6 meters. A regular Volga doesn't quite reach 5. They even tried to style the rear window, much like on the latest executive ZIL 41047, giving it a slightly more refined appearance. Well, almost like it. Want to see the interior? No, let's look under the hood first. And there's nothing surprising in the interior except the shine and luxury of a new car. Well, here we have the ZMZ402. Its displacement is 2,445 cubic centimeters. Power is 90 or 100 horsepower at 4,500 revolutions per minute. Torque is 182 Newton meters at 2,500 revolutions per minute. This is a legendary engine. It started production in 1981 and ended in 2006. Even today, it's considered one of our most reliable engines. Why didn't they put in a more powerful engine? Well, it's simple. This is essentially a prototype, a show car if you will. This car was meant to demonstrate what could be done. And to expect something unique from it? That's silly. Once again, at the Smirnov Design Bureau, they restored the car exactly as it was originally assembled and built. And the self-tapping screws were still sticking out. Understand, this is a prototype. It doesn't have to look perfect. For 1995, for a Volga, for those living in the USSR, the interior is luxurious. And even the fact that it's poor in terms of, let's say, equipment doesn't matter. There's gray carpeting everywhere. It was fashionable back then since there was nothing else available. velour sofas, leather trim on the doors, and wherever possible, GAZ inscriptions. I sit here, it's soft, spacious, but only for me and only if I'm alone. On the left, the passenger is bothered by the seat. In the front. If someone sits in the front, in the seat on the side, how are we supposed to sort out and share the legroom? It's a questionable solution, no doubt about it. What is there for the VIP person here? Well, you get a sunroof, a dome light, a heater vent, side panels, power windows, and ashtrays for added comfort and convenience. That's about it, really. Not much, to be honest. The porthole hints that today you've bought a luxurious Volga Cortège, and perhaps tomorrow you'll buy your own plane. Behind the wheel. Leather like wood. Leather. Everywhere there is leather and what appears to be wood. Suite 31029. For example, I can close the rear window which separates the VIP cabin from the driver's seat with a lifting glass. But the most interesting thing is that only the driver has the buttons for opening and closing the glass. She's not there. I can also open and close the windows from the driver's seat. On the doors. There's also a function for mirror adjustment here. Well, actually, to be more precise, it's more of an imitation of mirror adjustment, hinting that perhaps someday adjustable mirrors could eventually be installed here. No matter what you do with the Volga, it always remains a true Volga, a stately and smooth car, gently rocking on the waves and absolutely deafening the surroundings with its unique and unmistakable voice from the resonator. In a regular Volga, I have nowhere to put my left hand. See how the steering wheel is offset? No, of course it's comfortable to sit here, but there's a wall right behind the seat back, which means I can't recline the seat or move it back, so hello, ceiling? Or, you know, the classic Volga driver's seating position. As far as I know, they didn't make any serious changes to the suspension either. In the front, the design is from the 3102 independent Kingpin spring and lever suspension. And you know, surprisingly, the Kingpin is actually more reliable and cost-effective than ball joints, provided you maintain it properly. It just begs for a power steering unit here, but they could have installed one. And to install a 5-speed gearbox instead of this 4-speed anachronism. But then I remind myself, taking a moment to reflect, that this is a prototype, one that has been carefully restored to perfect condition, just as it was originally intended to be. At least there are disc brakes in the front. By the way, the calipers here are similar to those on a Moskvich. And in the back, of course, there are drum brakes, leaf springs, and shock absorbers. Everything else is unchanged, but the weight has increased. But for the leaf springs with just one person in the cabin, it's just right. Have you ever wondered how much it costs to restore a car, so to speak, turnkey? It's hard to calculate, or rather, it's impossible. The final amount is only known after the product is handed over to the customer. That's the real cost for you. It's expensive. But here, you just get in and drive. Yes, this is the unique Volga Cortège GAZ-31029 Limousine. It's for sale at the Smirnov Design Bureau store. Is it a good idea to buy it? I don't know. But this Volga is unique. It vividly characterizes and shows what was happening in the country in the mid-1990s, demonstrates modest, sometimes very artisanal attempts by domestic enterprises to survive, find a new niche. Did they succeed? It is not for us to judge. Be kinder. Respect the work of other people, even if it seems meaningless and unnecessary to you. Ask yourself a question. And what did you do? Me? I don't judge anyone, I just evaluate and remember. And the move continues.